Yo, what's going on, guys? I really want to just quickly touch on this before I'll continue my day. Jovan Buha of The Athletic is reporting that the Lakers are more likely or not going to make a small move. They're not going after a big cat. So it appears, as we've known for a while, the most likely guy is always Jonas Valančiūnas that they're going to go after, if not Cameron Johnson or Dorian Finney-Smith. Outside of that, Walker Kessler and Colin Sexton are two names that are interesting to watch out for. Utah's price tag for Walker Kessler remains rather high, so I don't know if they'd actually go after that. Bruce Brown's an expiring contract of $23 million. Jeremy Grant's an overpaid guy, and he's kind of like slipped. He's lost a step. He's slipped as a scorer and as a defender. So I really wouldn't trade for him. Robert Williams is injury durability, and Kyle Kuzma, they'd be going after someone that they had in the past, which, is helpful, but I don't know if it's the right move for them currently. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. What do you guys expect the Los Angeles Lakers to do? It's first off, they want to see if Jared Vanderbilt and Christian Wood are going to come back. And when they do come back, and if they do come back, will they be impact players? And they want to evaluate that. Their 30th game of the season will be on Christmas Day. The entire 15-man roster is eligible to be traded, and it seems that the Lakers continue to have a high bar for trading Reeves, who has a $13 million contract, similar to Dalton Knecht and Max Christie or other players that don't look like they'll be traded. Same thing with Rui Hachimura. They value him. Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, D'Angelo Russell, and Jalen Hood-Schifino, who, as I've said for a while since they declined his team option, is kind of going to be like this low-risk expiring contract, similar to Jalen Smith when he was waived by the Suns and then the Pacers got him and then they re-signed him to a cheap 3-year deal. That's how I would imagine them. Outside of those guys, Cam Reddish, Maxwell Lewis, and Christian Wood could be used as salary filler to make deals work. So let's just, of course, as we always do, we love to go ahead and pull up our handy dandy Fanspo trade machine, because I do think Fanspo does a solid job of presenting these trades, especially if you're a Lakers fan. And I think the Wizards, they've made it abundantly clear that if they were to trade any players, they just want assets back. And I myself think that if they were to do a trade with the Wizards, I don't think it's just going to stop at Jonas Valančiūnas because of the assets that they probably will give up, which is I would think a package that involves D'Angelo Russell. You're still $14 million short. Gabe Vincent, and you'd think here's the young guy, Jalen Hood-Schifino, right there. Lakers are actually, they can't take back more money in a trade because they're a first apron team, which means they're going to have to, as you see what I did right here, take on less money. So outgoing is $32.4 million. Incoming is $33.5. And the picks that we know the Lakers can trade, they have the 2029, 2030, and 2031. If they want to use more than one first round pick, they can trade the 29 and 2031. They can't trade the 2030 pick. They have the rights to swap 26, 28, and 2030, and they have 5 second round picks. I wouldn't be surprised if they include 1 second round pick in this year's draft and give them 3 seconds, because you're being like, well, you're giving them a young guy who could be a reclamation project in Jalen Hood-Schifino. Gabe Vincent gives them a veteran point guard that they could flip down the road, and D'Angelo Russell could be bought out, expanded in a third team trade, or be a piece of, or just a guy they just let walk. But if you see this deal works. Malcolm Brogdon and Jonas Valančiūnas, I think this is the most realistic deal that comes. It addresses the point guard position. It also gets you a backup center, and you keep Jared Vanderbilt hoping that, and Christian Wood hoping that Vanderbilt will come back and you can still have a defensive interior player like Vanderbilt on this roster, as getting a guy like Jonas Valančiūnas, he's going to be a bit slower, and he's a good rebounder and a good offensive player, and he takes up space on defense. But besides that, he's a guy who does get beat a bit more than you would like. So outside of that, I think a Cam Johnson and a Dorian Finney-Smith is the same framework, that if the Lakers do a move, I think they would like to package the Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino contracts And this is a more expensive deal that I think you would have to go with all 3 second-round picks. We'll do a lottery protected first in 2031, and we'll give them the 3 second-round picks. And you walk away with a deal that you're sending out $37 million and you're still short if you're the Lakers, which kind of throws this through a wrench right here, as you would more than likely have to include another player. And in this case, would that be a Vanderbilt? Which if you take out Jalen Hood-Schifino, you should be good. But if you add, I believe, you're still a bit short, which it could be addressed like with a Cam Reddish. And then technically you are $1.6 million ahead of that. And if you find a league subsidized contract, which I believe if you wanted to go with one of their league subsidized contracts, you could say Tyrese Martin gets thrown in there, and I just have to take off this recently signed restriction because he won't be trade eligible, I believe, until, if he's recently signed, they can't trade him until, I want to see what his contract says. He signed it on, well, we'll check it in a second. Either way, this is what the deal would look like, because you would have to make the money work. And Tyrese Martin is on a 2-way contract, but you can trade 2-way contracts. I thought Tyrese Martin was converted, though. Converted contract. I could be wrong on that, but you can trade 2-way deals. Yeah, okay, he was converted to a 2-way contract, and he's on a 2-way deal for... All right, yeah. They could also convert that in a way to make this actually work, and in this way, Tyrese goes on a minimum deal. You would just say, throw him on modified contract type, standard deal, give him the basic 3-year, whatever you want, minimum deal, non-guaranteed, and then you redo that trade right there. Exactly. I feel like this is actually a worthy deal. You're giving up 4 players, or technically 5 players, and you are losing some interior depth, which then makes me think, would you just throw Jared Vanderbilt? You take out the last 3 guys. I mean, you might want to keep Jalen Hood-Schifino in there, but instead you throw in Jared Vanderbilt and you ask for Daron Sharp at this point, because you get yourself a backup center. And I think at that point, this would also be a great deal, because not only you get Tyrese Martin, and this works money-wise, as the Lakers are sending out taking on $41.4 million, but they're sending out $44 million. So it actually all works out. Outside of that, I just, like we said, all the other deals that would have been able, if you made it to the end of this video so far, we've talked about this at the beginning. Walker Kessler, the contracts just don't make sense. And Kyle Kuzma, there's other players that they would want, and they already addressed that spot. So that's it. Peace out. Damn, this is still going? I thought we ended this. Holy crap.